Hey everybody, welcome to this Chicago special edition of Mama I Made It, and I am so excited. I've been thinking about this moment for a while, and I'm so glad to finally be here with this special guest. So he is an artist, he is an actor, he is a philanthropist, he's an author, a Renaissance man, truly. We have Common with us. Thank you so much for being here, Common. We love you in Chicago, and today is a really special day.
Yes. Well, peace. It's great to see you, and congratulations to you, and for having this show. We really excited that you have this outlet to express yourself and give these in-depth talks with people that do have something to say.
Thank
I just want to say I said this to you before we started filming, but I was in London working, and it felt refreshing to turn on the TV and see your face.
Oh,
So
thank you. So the show is called Mama I Made It, as you know.
yes.
And here in Chicago, you certainly made it. I mean, you made it for us.
Yeah.
And we're so proud,
Thank
so Chicago proud of you. Today is a big day for the show, but it's a special day because your school, the school that you founded, the graduating class, they just walked across the stage.
Yeah.
How does it feel to see the second graduating class of your school make it to this moment today?
Yes. Well, we started our school in 2019. It's called AIM, Art in Motion, and my whole goal is for young people to have a really holistic foundation for education, for artistic expression, and them to just be fed so many things that could benefit them on their journey in life. And to know when we started in 2019, and this was our second graduating class, and we've been through a journey. Like, everything was not perfect in our growth in this school. We had some challenges. We made mistakes. We've had some difficulties. But to see the young people walk across that stage and see our graduates and to see their family members and to see, a young lady who was, been dealing with injury and disability, who once couldn't walk, is now, she walked across the stage with the help of her physical therapist. All of that stuff just means it was just a way for me to understand we are really going in the right direction.
Why was it important for you to have your own school in Chicago? That's a huge undertaking. You've got so much going on in your professional career. This is a big deal to you, this school. Why is that?
Yeah, this is one of the biggest and most important things I've ever been a part of in my life. And I say that, and I know that because school is what provided me a strong foundation into who I am now. Of course, my mother and my stepdad and my friend group around me, I mean, they shaped a whole lot of me too. But I spent a lot of time in school, and it was some of those teachers who took the time to laugh with me, to teach me, to discipline me. They cared. They really, when I look back, changed my life. Some of my teachers introduced me to poets like James Baldwin and Dr. Maya Angelou and Richard Wright, and that sparked me to want to write. So I felt that it was so important for me, giving back. You do it in a lot of different ways, but to provide an institution, a place where young people can gather from all around the city and be cultivated to be fulfill their dreams, be introduced to things that they may not even be aware of, and to have the support to develop academically, but also express themselves artistically. It's everything to me, because I know it was the artistic aspect along with the academics that led me to achieving something in my life. And it was being able to express myself as an artist. Little did I know that was my therapy at the time. It was my confidence builder. It was my way of letting out anger or whatever. I didn't know at the time, but when I reflect on it and think about what it means to me now, I see that that's what it was then. So how can I provide that for our young people, or how can we provide it? And we came up with AIM, Art in Motion, which is academics is just as important as the arts, but that art has to be there.
People in the community. I talked to one woman, she said, my kid doesn't even go to this school yet. She said he doesn't even realize the hope that he's bringing to the neighborhood. So even beyond the walls of the school, you're doing so much for the community. I want to talk about Common before Common, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm curious, how did you come up with the name Common? Because I'm thinking like when people are coming up with their name,
Right.
they want the least common name.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
So how did you come up with Common?
Okay. So the name Common originated, my first name that I came out professionally was Common Sense. That was the name. And I chose the name Common Sense because my mother used to always say, Rashid, you better use your common sense. Use your common sense. And I thought it was a unique name, but still kind of everyday, because I would hear the words common sense all the time. So I was like, that was my name, Common Sense. Well, in around my second album, after I released it, a group who had the name filed for a cease and desist order. And they only own the rights to the name in California, but I got to sell records in California too. So it was like I had to shorten the name, basically. And I was stressed out when that happened because I had just started building people were just getting to know me as Common Sense. In fact, I say that's when I lost my head. But that being said, I was stressed, and then I just used the name Common. I said, okay, I'm out there, because first I was going to use, like, it was going to say Chicago's Common Sense or blah, 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 these different ways to go around. But
it works.
It worked. Common, listen, but look, Samantha, it's like when I first had to use the name, I was like, man, I ain't common, and then it just started to sit with me more, and it became a blessing because I feel like I represent the everyday person. I feel like I represent the common folk. I am that. And that's what people know of me. And, I think it allows people to feel even closer to me. Like, yo, Common, so it's like, yeah. I mean, some people ask me, is that my God-given name, like my mother named me? I'm like, no, that's not, but I chose the name Common Sense. And then it became Common.
I love it. For people who don't know, what is your government name?
My government is Lonnie Rashid Lynn. And my father, God bless his soul, is Lonnie Lynn Jr. Some people think I'm a junior. In certain articles I've seen, like, yeah, Lonnie Rashid Jr. Like, I'm like, no, I'm not a junior. I'm Lonnie Rashid Lynn. But my father gave me the name Rashid because he believed that Christianity and Islam were all God's spiritual beliefs and practices. Like, he believed in, meaning they both come from God. Like, he didn't feel like it was a reason to divide if someone was studying Islam and practicing Islam, or someone was practicing Christianity, as long as you practiced it with love and in the right way. So he looked at Lonnie as a Christian name and Rashid as a Muslim name and put them together.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your upbringing. Did I hear that you had hoop dreams? You wanted to be a
yeah,
baller?
yeah, I definitely wanted to hoop. Man,
Were you good?
I was good. I was
Okay.
pretty good. I mean, my own Chicago ego basketball made me feel like, man, I could have went to the league, but that might be, false hopes.
And I'm not going to lie, I feel like I hear every artist say that they could have gone to the league.
Yeah. Well, I could have went to the league.
Okay.
No. I don't know. I'm to be honest, I gotta. At this point, I look at those guys and women who make it to professional basketball, and I'm like, they on a whole nother level. But I loved basketball. I played in high school, and I was, my dream was to be in the pros. I loved Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan and, Magic Johnson. Those were some, and then eventually it became the Rod Stricklands of the world and those but I got injured in my sophomore year in high school, and it took me out for some months, and I started focusing on writing more, like my raps and stuff, and making music and songs while I couldn't play. and it became like, it was like God just guided me to where I was supposed to be. Like he, he knew what I was purposed to do, and I'm grateful now to that guy, because my injury was an eye injury, and it took me out for some months because I couldn't see out of my eye for a while. So um, I'm grateful that all that happened now. At the time you look like and when I came back to actually like wanting to play, I was playing, but I wasn't getting any playing time. So I'm like, man, I'm just gonna keep rapping more. I'm gonna stay, this rap thing. And at that point, somewhere around 15 years old, 16 years old, I decided, man, I want to be a hip hop artist. So my path, I found it.
It sounds like it found you as well.
Yes, it's found me.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I want to talk about your mom. You all have such a close bond. All right. I was trying to look this up. Forgive me. Are you an only child?
Yeah, I'm an only child from
From
my
your
mother.
mom. I'm
Yeah.
the same way. So I'm my mom's only. I'm my dad's youngest.
Yeah.
And man, that only child thing with the mom,
It's everything, but
it's everything, but I love my mom. She
Yeah.
knows that. Mama I made it
Yeah.
in part.
Mama I Made It.
Mama I made it in part is inspired by her.
Yeah.
But listen, growing up,
Oh yeah.
she didn't play.
Oh, for sure.
And we have this our relationship is so tight that sometimes it can be almost intense.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that only child relationship with mom.
Well, it's so great, Mama, I made it, because it's like that can mean so much now. You know what I mean? It's like that as an only child for me, me and my mother at one point we just had each other, because my mother and father separated when I was 1 years old. So I was one. So man, it was us, and my grandmother was there, but me and my mother she was the source of everything, teaching me, guiding me, providing for me, like, and our bond is unbreakable. It's just, it's timeless. So that relationship, and with that, when it is just your parent can, they putting everything into you, and they care so much.
Oh, I mean, I say it myself. I don't have kids, but I said I want to have more than one because that's a lot of pressure on one kid. I always felt like if I had siblings in the house, it wouldn't all be on me. She's putting everything in me, so I gotta make it work.
Yeah, you got it. You feel that pressure, but one of the things I learned through therapy too is like it's a lot of responsibility comes with being an only child. That's why I think Mama I Made It has a lot of meaning to it, like, because the expectations, the responsibilities that you feel, like, and the pride, and man, the pressures that you feel from like being an only child, and also just because I'll speak for me, and I guess you feel the same because Mama I Made It. It's like, man, the work that your mother's put, and the sacrifice, and the dedication, and just giving that whole heart and soul and time to making you the best person you could be. You want to make them proud. You want to honor them by doing something great in life and being purposeful. And then, also as you evolve and you become an adult, Mama I Made It becomes like another aspect of like, hey, Ma, you did it. I got it from here. That don't mean I'm not going to listen to some of your wisdom. A lot of the seeds that you planted are now evolving and growing in me. And man, I'm still learning from you, but I got to go out on my own and Mama, I made it. I'm going to make it on my own, I'm going to have help, but I'm going to have to do some of this on my own.
It's beautiful. I said it was a double entendre. I didn't think about it the way that you just described it, though. Mama, I made it.
Right.
Mama, I made it.
Right.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah. You're from the Southside of Chicago, like me. So yes. I love all of my Chicagoans, but yes, particularly my Southsiders. It used to make me so mad to have to defend the city that I love. And I know this is not a perfect city. I know we have our challenges, but this is a city that I love and adore. I always said, I want to come back home because I've lived in different cities, but I want to come back home and do what I love at home. Have you ever felt like you had to defend the city? Because you go all over the world and you represent Chicago. What does it look like if you do defend the city? Do you feel like you have to defend Chicago, or do you let your art and your work and what you're doing in the city speak for itself?
No, I feel like, first of all, I wear Chicago on my chest, like, very proudly, like, and it's one of the biggest reasons I am who I am. It's this city, the people, um, the history of it, how we live, how we like treat one another, like, and how just the code and the way that we live is it means so much in the way I function in the world and who I am in the world, that whenever it's brought up Chicago, and if it is brought up in a negative way or somebody trying to like bring it up like they, man, it's tough out there, huh?
I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that.
it's tough out there. They be like, it's tough out there, and I acknowledge, as you said, we not perfect, and I like, man, we do have some. We've been facing some tough times too, but I be like, man, it's a beautiful city, and the people, like, you get some of the most down to earth, but like just smart, connected, blue collar, but still got style and still know how to enjoy life. It's something about just Chicago people that, one thing I do get around the world is people who've had interacted, like, it's something about Chicago people. They say, somebody I know will be like, man, my roommate was from Chicago. That was one of the coolest people I met. Or that, oh man, I worked with somebody from Chicago. Y'all just cool people. So I hear that even more than I hear the negative things. But when I do hear the negative things, I definitely say, hey, like, it's a brighter side, and it is a beautiful city.
So, Common, you're an artist. You rap, you're a lyricist, you're an author, you're an actor. You wear so many hats. I called you a Renaissance man off the top. You have an Emmy, Grammys, you have an Oscar.
Yes.
Is becoming an EGOT, with that Tony, is that important to you?
Yes. Um, man, to achieve that, have the title EGOT on my name would mean a lot. It would be amazing. It's just something for me personally that I would be like, what? Like, I'm from the Southside of Chicago, and now I'm showing what we can do and what we can become. And it's not just about awards, but to achieve the highest awards in the facets of art that I participate in, man, to get a Tony, like, to know, like, as a kid, I was in a play and I wanted to do theater, and eventually to go out as an adult and get into theater and would get a Tony, that would be incredible. And then to be from Chicago, a hip hop artist, known as the EGOT, man, that would, yeah, it's important to me, but I have to say, I also recognize that anything I've achieved at the highest level has been because I cared and I'm passionate and I put my heart and soul into it, and it's driven by the art. And then it became, it got the accolades. Like, when we received the Emmy, it was for this movie 13th that Ava DuVernay directed. And it was a song we did called A Letter to the Free. To be honest, when we did it for the film that was also on TV, on streaming Netflix. I didn't even know. I got a call saying, man, yo, y'all nominated for an Emmy. I was like, what? Like, I just didn't even know that it was possible. But my point is, I got to put my heart and soul into the projects and be in alignment with the stellar work and right projects, and that will come.
It will.
Yeah.
We're manifesting it. It's
Yes.
only right. And I mean,
Yes.
like you say, you put your heart and soul into everything. So we gonna get that tea. We're gonna get
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of EGOTs from the South Side, Jennifer Hudson,
Yes.
your girlfriend, how special is that relationship to you?
Man, that relationship is one of the greatest blessings and most important things in my life, in my whole journey in life. Um, the the friendship, the partnership, the life partnership, the just the connection. Um, Man, it's one of those things where you don't know truly like what true partnership and relationship is until you get there. And it took me some time maybe to grow and evolve as a person. And it's like those things you pray for and you don't get them until you're ready. And I think, whatever growing I had to do, it was the divine time in alignment when Jennifer and I started like being interested in each other because we had been around each other before. We worked together before or something. But this was the time where we just felt and got to see each other in that way. And yeah, man, I mean, it's inspiring to have somebody who's as talented and just soulful and like gifted and can do all these different things and is one of the greatest vocalists of all time and just this pure artist, man. Like she's a special artist. But then to have someone who, most importantly, when it comes to relationship, is just like it's like equal yoke. Y'all can be in a room together and it's just like together and it's joy and it's like, or I could be going through something and it's like I have that encouragement and support and vice versa. Like that's what I'm learning more about partnership and love. And like I said, when you get there, you recognize what it is. And I hold up high and I, God willing, I keep praying for that we just continue to be at our best with each other.
All of us here in Chicago were rooting for you all when we saw that you all confirmed things on her
Yeah.
show. It was so beautiful because, with the exception of Michelle and Barack, we don't have a lot of big figures
Yeah.
who are both from Chicago or, both
Yeah.
primarily raised in Chicago. And so it's a beautiful thing to see. So, Chicagoans, we're rooting for you all. We're rooting for you
Yeah,
all.
I gotta say this, man, it's really dope to actually like have be in a relationship with somebody who's from Chicago. Because, I
Yes.
travel all over the world and, I've been in relationships and met with, been good relationships. I'm not taking away from anything, anybody I've, dated before. But, this Chicago woman is something there like that we like, oh man, it's just, we can relate to certain things that just, we both been through. Well, it could be the smallest of things, like the roll call on GCI that used to happen, or
The birthday
or
call. Yeah.
birthday call,
Yeah.
that birthday call on GCI, or just Evergreen Plaza. But more than anything, is relating on just values and respect and consideration and being a good human being and having a reverence a, a pursuing of God is most important.
That faith.
Yeah.
On social media right now, it's a lot of gender wars in our community. What do you bring to the table? Do you make six figures? It's a lot of that, back and forth, back and forth. So when we see you all, it's a beautiful thing. We need more of that. What is your suggestion for the men and the women? Because it's so much out there right now.
Right.
What should I settle for?
Yeah.
Am I settling? Is settle a bad word? Or for the guys, I'm not ready to settle down just yet. I'm fine on my own. I got to get the bag. Do you think, what would you suggest or what is your advice for people out there? Because our community, all of this stuff on social media is too much.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I mean, I don't have the answer to every situation. But I'll say, in when it comes to like a relationship, and I think you want to know what you want. Like, you got to know what things are important to you. Like, and man, if that takes writing it down, that takes praying on it and being clear on what that is. And then, you know, you got to, give yourself openness to meet people, and not like quickly judge, like, oh man, this one thing is wrong with this person or that. Like, none of us are perfect. So, like, are the important things there? And I think it's important too that within meeting people and saying what you want, that you are also continuing to work on yourself. Like, because if you say you want something but you still wounded and you like bringing up old stuff to your new relationship or potential relationship, then you're not giving that a chance, right? So it's important to know the things you want. Also, you got to knowing yourself is important, because you need to know if you're a man and you are a alpha man and you want an alpha woman, like a woman, then you need to know, hey, these are the things I want to bring to this relationship. I want to be able to provide, and I want to be able to protect, and I want to, those are basic things, but those are things that are natural to a lot of men that are, want to be the alpha man in that partnership. So you got to be able to declare that and know that for yourself. And also communication, man. Like, if you say, oh man, I got to get the bag, so I ain't got time for a relationship, then don't even lead the person up that route. You know, I think I learned early on, and I'm not saying I was perfect early on, because I was definitely like doing dumb shit, doing dumb, I was doing stuff that just wasn't like always kosher with, wasn't right towards the people that I was in relationships with. But at a certain point, I saw, first of all, that was hurting people I care about. And two, it was too much work to be trying to do all this, do that. So my thing is communicate, and communicate with truth. Like, I think that's one thing as men, that we can hold in power if we communicate in truth. Like, look, this is what I want from myself and what I want in a relationship. And then you're allowing the person to decide if, and I think a woman should be, I'm just speaking as a man, like, I think a woman should communicate in truth also and be able to declare what she wants. But I think, more from my experiences, I, I had to learn to be like, look, this is what I want and this is what I need. I don't want to be in a full on relationship if I'm not ready. And you got to say that.
See, the struggle with that, though, Common, is that, like, a man might say, listen, I'm not looking for anything serious. But then we start acting serious. We going on dates, though. We doing other stuff, though. So in a woman's mind,
Yeah, but
we fantasize, like, okay, well, he'll change eventually. So,
yeah,
what do we do?
but listen, I think, I don't know what somebody wise said it. I don't know if it was Dr. Maya Angelou, but if a person shows you who you are,
Believe them the first time.
Yeah, and also if a person says something, then that somehow is part of in their conscious, subconscious. They, even if they're doing other things, that will show up at some point. Like that, if a person said, "Man, I really don't want to be in a relationship," yeah, they might be enjoying the time that y'all spending and giving all their time to you, but eventually that thought of not wanting to be in a relationship may come up, and he eventually may act on it. So unless that person is changing and they changing on their own and they communicating that to you, the thought of like, man, this person is gonna change, or maybe if I do this, they gonna. One thing I definitely will suggest, and I'm not the relationship expert,
Free game, let's hear.
is that, man, you don't want to have to change anybody in a relationship. You like, true relationships is accepting a person for who they are and where they are in their lives. And is that what you want? Is that what is the right connection and partnership for you? And it works where you both are supporting each other and encouraging each other and challenging each other. The one benefit I see in having a real like great relationship is not always just it's not gonna be any struggles, but man, if we struggle and communicate, then we growing, So like trying to change somebody or this person gonna change eventually. Nah, man, them days is I don't want nobody to subscribe to that or really believe I'm about to change this person. Because you don't want to have to change them. Love them for who they are, or just know that they ain't your person. And you can make a choice, man. I'll go to dinner with you, I hang out with you, we keep it like that, but you got to make those decisions. These are adult decisions in relationships.
And I read that Michelle Obama, also from the Southside, I read that she gave you some really good relationship advice. Would you mind sharing what?
I mean, some of it was what I just spoke about like you're not going to get anybody perfect.
How do you know then what is a deal breaker? Because there might be some things, it's like, okay, he's not perfect, but do I accept all the flaws?
No, I mean, like, the deal breakers are the deal breakers. You got to know the things that really, like, the things that really is don't fit right with your soul and your being and who you are. Like, for me, if somebody don't have any type of spiritual belief or practice, that's not gonna work with me. Or if somebody is like freaking just mean to people, like just talk to people in certain ways. Like I'm talking about whether it's the waiter, the janitor, the housekeeper that's cleaning up in the hotel, what the person on the street. If you don't treat them with respect, that's not gonna work for me. Um, it's those are things that's high up on the list. Now, if you like something that I really don't care about that I used to think was super important was like, do we like the same music? Does she like artsy movies like I like? Does that really matter? And like sometimes you go sit down with somebody and they might not love the movies you like, but y'all just love spending time together. So they're gonna watch that. They're gonna watch that movie with you, and then she wanna watch her show. You might not be into that show, like it could be whatever the reality show.
Real
It
Housewives.
could be that.
You gonna watch Real Housewives?
I mean, if my partner, if my lady wanted to watch Real Housewives, I'm gonna watch it with her. It's some stuff, I might watch it for a while, and then I'll be like, I'm gonna go do my thing. You watch it, what you watch,
Right.
But the point is, it's like those are not deal breakers. Like deal breakers is things that really are important to you and you value them. Like honesty. Honesty for me is a deal breaker. Like if you just gonna lie, I don't even need it. I don't even want family members I don't even want to have a close, like, continuous relationship. If you're just gonna keep lying to me, then I mean I'm still gonna love you, but I'm gonna have to love you from afar, no matter what, if you're just gonna keep lying. So those are things that's deal breakers, and you gotta decide what the deal breakers are. Like, and all of them not bad either. Sometimes you get like it's important, like when people at that age, you got to come out and say, hey, I want children or I don't want children. I want to be married, I don't want to be married. You can't be afraid if the person is, you mention that and then they gonna go away, because if that's what you want, then, and they not the person that wants that, then you don't want to waste your time and energy towards that and get your heart all into it if that's not what they want. And that's something important. That's a deal breaker. Because if you really want children and the person doesn't, that's a real thing that's like for your life. So you got to make those type of decisions. Those are deal breakers.
So, want to go back to your school. So, when I visited your school not long ago, I saw that there was a meditation room, and we talked about this. That was very important to you. Mental health awareness is a big deal to you. Why was it important for you to have that meditation room in your school?
Well, like one of the toughest times in my life, where I was in the darkest place and didn't know, like, man, I didn't know if I was gonna make it. Like, life was crumbling on me, and it was the introduction to. I was already like starting to read these self-help books. It was my spiritual practice, but it was actually one of my acting classmates took me to a yoga class, and that was kind of like, in a way, part of going into meditation for me, like, because it was making me center myself and deal with my breathing and things that I had never been exposed to, but was actually, I would lead a class feeling better. Eventually, at some point I was taught more about meditation because I was reading these different books and going, to different places where they would practice meditation. I saw how important it became to me and how viable it was to dealing with stress and centering myself and like releasing anger and just centering myself to focus on the things that I wanted to be intentional about. So when we created AIM and our co-founders and all our team was talking about putting the peace room, which is a meditation room in the school, I was like, boy, y'all have hit me in my soul with this one, because I know how beneficial that could be for young people and then for anybody. But to even have that access when you're really young, to know like, okay, I just got in trouble. I'm not even getting sent into a lot of like disciplinary trouble. I'm getting sent to the peace room. That's even like more of a correlation to what we hope our system could be. Sometimes people need mental health support more than they do imprisonment, because imprisonment is not healing the issue. So our peace room is like more about the healing of and creating a space where young people could feel safe and like they could release some of that stress. And it's a powerful thing. That's one of the things that I'm most like, when I talk to people, them billionaires, and I'm telling them what we're doing, I'm like, yo, we got a peace room in there where our kids can meditate.
That's the room to bring them in, because when I went in there, I wanted to go and you will have the little teepees.
Yes.
I wanted to take my big self in there
then
and
relax.
just relax. It was
You need that.
soothing.
Yeah, you need that. We need that.
Yes. I want to talk about music. Do you feel like Chicago gets its just due when it comes to hip hop and rap? Obviously, we have you, an amazing artist. Some of our other artists, they going through some things. We got Kanye, of course, and on the hip hop R&B side, R. Kelly, Dirk right now. Like our artists, some of them are our core artists are, struggling. Do you think that the world sees Chicago music and what we bring the way we deserve?
Well, I think, you just named a list of artists who are some of the most prolific and gifted artists that ever do music. Like those artists, like from Kanye and R. Kelly. These are artists that are Lupe Fiasco. Like these artists really, and I go back to pre-hip hop through our history, like Herbie Hancock, Minnie Riperton, Shaka Khan, Curtis Mayfield, James Cleveland, and on the gospel side, like just Chicago has had and has, because when you get into the modern, like you said, the Dirks and G Herbos and like these artists that Chance and No Name and these artists, like they have their own voice, they have their own style, they bring a unique thing to. Not one artist I name sounds like the other, and I think have we got our due? I do believe our music is the music from that you hear from a lot of the Chicago artists we talked about will be around forever and will influence people forever. And we just got to keep on creating and nurturing more artists to keep coming. Like we talked about Jennifer Hudson, is her legacy is there, and she just continuing to build on it. So I think that those things, the artists we have really mean something to music and culture that is timeless.
Speaking of music, one of the clips that I saw, and it was a beautiful thing, and I think we need more of this. We saw you and Ice Cube talking about how you all were able to mend fences, even beyond that. Talk to me about that time where you all were able to resolve that beef and bring more love into the music game, into the world. We need more of that.
Yeah, well, when Ice Cube and I had our beef, it was, it was serious. It was rap, but it was serious. I was mad. He was mad, and we went at each other on records, but I felt like it was escalating to a point where, you know, it could be very, it would have been physical, right? But during that same time, we had lost two of our greatest artists, Notorious B.I.G., Biggie, and the great Tupac. God bless the soul of Biggie and God bless the soul of Tupac. So during that time, Minister Louis Farrakhan brought together all of these artists from different parts of the country and was like, man, y'all are fighting over East, West, this and that. Like, that's just, what the slave masters want you to do. Like, y'all not slaves. Like, don't, like, you picking out something different about, this is your brother right here. So that settled us. We was like, we can't continue to, like, we got into this to make a way for our loved ones and not be caught up in all the negativity. So we had a peace at that point. And then we were eventually able to work together on Barbershop, The Next Cut, and I always had reverence for Q because he was one of my inspirations. So I still to this day got that reverence, and it was a moment. I thank God at that moment we learned from it and were able to tell this story on the other side, and I hope our younger artists can understand that, man, some of them Twitter beefs and all that, man, ain't worth nobody's life. You got a chance to provide for yourself and live a great life, man, being an artist and a musician and creating business and take care of families and generations. So why let that go over somebody tweeting something, somebody saying this? It's like, it ain't worth it. So you're right, we need more love, but love gotta overcome ego. Love gotta overcome the hurt and the anger, and love gotta overcome that.
Any new projects? You mentioned Barbershop. We know you're an actor, a very successful actor at that. You do so much. So what is next for Common?
Well, I'm a part of this Apple TV Plus show, which is called Silo. It's a really great show. That our second season, we filmed our third season. It'll be out at some point. I don't know if it will be the end of the year, beginning of next year, but we filmed the third season. Silo I'm going back to film another season. And I'm looking to produce some things now, from TV. Like, we produced The Shy, which I'm very proud about, but, more things I want to produce in documentaries and also acting in more films is something I'm looking forward to.
We are so proud of you and everything that you do for Chicago and helping putting us on the map. You really do. You put us on the map in such a great way. And before we go, I did want to mention that AIM, you all are open for enrollment. You have open spots. And yeah, let's talk about AIM. Let's close out.
Yeah, one of the things with AIM that we hadn't talked about is that we actually have jobs available for. We're looking to bring teachers and assistants and aides and teachers' aides and to work at AIM. It's like one of the things where you talked about hope in the community. One of the biggest pillars for us is creating jobs and opportunities. And if we can have people from our communities working at AIM in support of our kids as they get an education and get introduced to more things, man, that's what community is about. So we're really excited about the progress and the evolution of AIM right now.
We love AIM. And we love you, Common. Thank you so much. Oh, you're the best. And thank you for saying yes.
Yes, of course.
Oh, I mean, I know we've met on the news side, but thank you for saying yes. It means more to me than you even know.
Thank you. You're doing wonderful things. I appreciate you.
Blessings.
Go like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Until next time, Mama, I made it.